I so need my Janine and Rachel fix today. It is, what date is it, ladies? It is, oh my goodness.
17th.
The 17th.
It's the 16 plus 1 day.
Yeah,
it's isn't it St. Patty's Day in North America?
Yeah, it is. And I've been speaking to Rachel earlier today, and we are so in need of your, well, I'm probably more in need of your positivity, because as usual, as we say every week, lots happening this week, which is turning lots of us into turmoil. And yeah, very exciting things happening. We're trying to smile through it, but
yeah. Oh yeah,
it can be a challenge. Did you see the Trump Fox News speech interview?
Well, I read little snippets of it. Some people are saying it didn't sound like him. You know, I got a feeling they're up to something with having Trump say pushing the the thing.
Cure. Yeah. the cure.
Pushing that thing. I got a feeling there's something up there. We'll have to look at it.
This is going to be our first question, because I had a real wobbly today when I listened to that.
Yeah,
I had a real wobbly. I do agree, it didn't sound like him, but I had a real wobbly, and lots of people have been trying to say reasons why he might have said that. So we'd love to ask the cards on that one, wouldn't we, Rachel?
Absolutely.
I'm curious too.
Yeah. Normal.
Okay, so let's have a look.
Yay. What is Trumpy up to?
Dutch carriage there. I just had a little sip of Dutch carriage.
Very strange. This card's representing the speech, and that's a possible, he wasn't there. So that's kind of weird. I wonder who's putting that out there then. So he was somewhere different than where that speech was said to be being made. He's looking from a safe perspective at it. So he must have known about it. So I wonder if we got another double speaking on his behalf again, which we saw possibly was going on at that conference.
There isn't anything nefarious about it, is there?
No, it looks like he knew about it. So he's condoning what they're saying, is what I'm getting. And here, so this card says, this is a wake up call card. So it has everything to do with wake up. Wake up. You know, I'm going to just tell you guys something that I've been getting for a really long time. Whenever I do cards, and every time somebody sends me a really fearful cure video, I always get that none of that stuff they say is going to happen is going to happen. Every time. I always get, it'll all work itself out. So either he knows that, or none of those things are actually going to happen with it, with the cure. So as crazy as that sounds, I wonder if they know something we don't know, and that all of those stories and even those people, don't forget, we're in an information war, and we've been told for months and months and months to expect that this would be a movie. So part of the movie might be, and I'm just going to throw this out there because that's kind of what this is looking like. They're putting it out there that he knew about this, and he's condoning something. I'm going to ask, why would he be? But because he knows it's not bad. We just think it is. So if it's an information war and everybody's on the bad side's been pumping all this fear, The good side might be throwing out their version of the very same thing, which is fear the cure. The bad guys are saying, don't fear the cure, fear the disease. Okay, so we've got the, and whatever was created possibly is placebos or literally doesn't have the mortality rate everybody's thinking it will, or the kind of effects. So we could be getting both sides completely manipulating the situation, which to be honest, I've been getting that for a while. So that's a little bit daunting. And creates everybody to, because this card's the major arcana, which is wake up and smell the coffee. In other words, wake up to, you can't, don't listen to anything, listen to your own gut. If your gut says, I don't need this, and if you put anything 2 and 2 together and look at how actually dangerous it's been proven not to be, okay, if most people survive it, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all the information would lead me as an intelligent person to some degree with common sense to not do. Why would I don't get regular flu shots each year like people do. I don't know, because that seems ridiculous to me. Like if things are always transiting and changing, why on earth would you put a bunch of stuff in your body you don't need? I think this is all a wake-up call for everybody to just wake up. Don't listen to anybody except your own common sense. It's an information war. So keep that in mind. We've been told that the whole time. Right? So it's kind of the only thing that would make sense to why he'd be okay with them putting that out there. And the only other alternative is he's completely switched sides, which I don't get.
No.
Right. Every time I do a reading on it, it says the thing is not dangerous. But some of it is, and some of it isn't, but mostly it isn't. And things will work themselves out way better than you expect. So I don't think all of those things they're putting out there are true. I think it's exaggerated, just like the other thing got exaggerated. Everybody's doing this and we're in the middle. So we have to come to a personal place with our hearts about it.
It was interesting you should say that, Janine, because Rachel and I were discussing it this afternoon. So just before we came online, I listened to it again. And one of the things that really stood out for me in the interview he had yesterday on Fox News, and he wasn't shown at all, it was just his voice. Or
I don't get it was him.
No, but the message was is they made quite a play about him meeting with all the pharmaceutical companies and saying they've all got to come together and everything. But I think you're so right. For me, people have just got to make their own mind up, because the trouble is no one really knows. And even President Trump wouldn't really know, because just as we've seen throughout this whole scenario, just because you've made an agreement doesn't mean everyone's sticking to it. So, better safe.
I was looking for that. The world one that came up with Sidney Powell, what she'd actually said.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. I was wondering.
No, I don't get it's a flip. I get it's not that. I don't think he's endorsing something that he believes is dangerous. I think he probably did make some deals with those people to literally placebo some of those, and you use like a regular flu shot. Right, that was another thing that a lot of people were thinking was happening. But I think in the meantime there's been some dangerous ones, because whenever I do it, it's about half and half. And there's hundreds of them, so 50% of them.
That's a really good message. And I love one of the videos. I always listen to all your videos, Janine, because I love them so much. And I loved the one you did earlier on this week, where you said, at the end of the day, we have to go back to that trust that if your destiny is to leave the planet at this time, you'll leave. And if it's not, and I think, it's quite hard for a lot of people who feel they might be doing the best thing by sharing these interviews. I mean, the 3 interviews about the cure that you said we'd all listened to, and they were really brilliant in very different ways. And so surprising, the person who's worked in the cure industry his whole life coming out with such a powerful message. So there's something there, isn't there?
But a person shared that made a lot of sense. All of those interpretations of what could happen if you took that cure are based on isolating the V.
Yeah.
So the risks, you know what I mean? So isolating it, which they haven't done. So somebody pointed that out, that all of that would only be based in that, and they haven't even done that yet. So it doesn't make any sense that they could have done what those guys are saying they must have done with the cure.
Well, I will, the biologist, jump in there. Sorry, Rachel, the delay. It seems a bit of a delay today. But as a biologist, I would disagree with that. I think that completely makes sense to the guy who's worked in the industry for ages in his argument. But with the messenger version that 2 of the companies are doing, that doesn't make sense, because that's not dependent on that at all. And that lies half the problem. So again, I think this fits perfectly with what you said, and what you said, Rachel, as well, all along, that, you know, the thing is you're not comparing light with light. There's so many versions out there. And some might be placebo, some might be
saline
flu, which is pretty dangerous if you've already had one anyway, because a lot of people are making you have the flu one before you have the cure one. But to have 2 in quick succession was not going to be good for anyone.
And that could even be what's causing the trouble. All right.
So it is a lottery. It's, as you said, it's a bit of a Russian roulette.
Also, I think Martin Geddes, because when Trump actually said that hydroxychloroquine was going to be the best cure, they took it off the market completely and said it was dangerous. And
so that's obvious, right?
Exactly. So,
and it's been used for 30 years.
60, I think, even.
Whoa,
Isn't it 60 years it had been? Anyway, a long time. So they proved over and over, although, you know, I don't really like pharmaceutical drugs at all.
I don't either.
And don't trust them really anymore at all. In fact, just go and get a paracetamol. I go and ask, you know, can we have a look at the ingredients? Because there's so much talcum powder in it. It's just ridiculous. So, anyway. But, so it's maybe the opposite, essentially, to what, you know, and this is how Martin Geddes has actually stated it, is that, you know, because in the way that Trump had actually recommended hydroxychloroquine and that was taken off, is he playing them at their own game and saying this is really good for you? And they then, you know, it's a bit of a Russian roulette, you know, what do we do now? Because Trump now says it's really good, you know. So I don't know. But
so I'm gonna ask next, I think I should ask, how should we view what he says?
Lovely.
Like, how should what does the universe want us to know about? If it looks like he condoned what was said there, maybe it wasn't him saying it, but he condoned it, and it was under the guise of saying it was him. So they didn't nefariously put that speech up. So that we know that. Okay, so let's look at, how does the universe want us to view that? Because this whole thing is to teach us things. We've seen that. And we can see that wake up call is a big thing, but let's get more details, see what we get. The star, the 4. So the star is vulnerability, feeling vulnerable, trusting. Okay, so the star is also about spiritual trust. It's spirit. She trusts so much in the universe that she's naked in a physical world. She took all of her ego off and trust. So she's completely trusting in her right to be in the world and that she'll be safe. Okay, so that's interesting. And this 4, so the 4 of Cups, trust that the right thing for you. It's going back to the bigger universal picture. do what in your heart and soul you feel right doing, and you'll be looked after how the universe would look after you. If you're not doing anything purposely to hurt yourself or others, then you're going to be looked after.
Oh.
If you're meant to get into trouble taking a cure, because people get cures, we're calling it the cure, but all the time, and things do go wrong and things do go right. But we're going to all hear about it because everybody's using these examples as weapons. So right now everything's weaponized. So anything that goes wrong with any of these, if somebody's agenda is going to take it, use it, exaggerate it, and that's either side. So we have to remember that and just personally feel intuitively, what do we need to do based in the evidence of what we really see. Think about what you really see here. This is something that's 99 point something percent recoverable. This is something that was blown out of proportion. And even the, the WHO, the WHO took it down to a regular flu. Can I say flu on here?
Yes.
I think we can say that.
Took it down. It doesn't exist anymore, Janine. It's gone.
What, the WHO?
No, the flu doesn't
exist
anymore.
Yeah.
So like wiped out. So we can talk about it as much as we like.
When you look at all of those things and all the lies around the whole other thing, you kind of got to be a bit of a, nig-nog, if you guys don't mind me saying, to go and get a job. Like, what would you do that for? Are you silly? Do you know what I mean? And then also to know that it was rushed. And who cares who said what? I don't care what Mr. T says. As much as I think he's in charge of some really good operations, he's not my hero. I'm not doing it because I personally don't feel good about it. So that's what I think the universe wants us to remember, and all of us to learn to be more discerning, and personally with our own spiritual connectedness, make up our mind what to do with our body, and trust the universe will look after you. We're being taught to spiritually evolve. That's part of the 5, moving up to the 5G.
It really is. It's changing, isn't it? And the human resonance even at the moment is really off scale.
It's really fascinating because at the moment we've got a real thing over in the UK. I don't know if it's global, but in the UK, where everyone's sort of updating their profile picture to say, I've had my vaccine today, and it's like a badge of honor. And all the all the politicians and celebrities and royal family, they're all saying, they're pushing it beyond anything. It's unbelievable.
And what we figured out about elites in the royal family, and we're gonna follow their lead, then people need to wake up. And you know what? If it is a war, like I know it is, there's gonna be casualties. That sounds brutal, but that's what happens. And that's what I think this is going on. We can't tippy-toe around it. There's gonna be people that didn't agree to stick around for this evolution, and they're gonna go. And not because they did or didn't do whatever they did or didn't do, because they didn't agree to stay. The universe will take you off the earth plane when you agreed to go off the earth plane spiritually. And I think we all got to learn to find that spiritual connectedness. That's what this card says. That's a really spiritual card. She completely trusts the universe, and her connection to the universe is going to take care of her if she's doing things not against anyone. Okay, so the big if there is, she's not purposely doing anything to hurt herself or others. That's not her intention. It's all about our intentions and where our heart is, right? So if your heart's in a good place and you're just trying to do the best thing for you and your family, you're not gonna be punished for that. You need to trust that connectedness, right? So a little bit of detachment and everybody working on their own spiritual value connectedness, connect back with your higher self or your connection to the universe, whatever that is. And it doesn't need to be about organized religion. That's certainly not what I'm talking about. But if that's how you find it, okay, that's great. But whatever your comfort is and your connectedness to source, find it now. This is a good time to be connected.
Absolutely. And to a certain extent, we don't really ever die, you know, our
Yep.
souls do live on, and, you know, we get
Yep.
the slate wiped clean. It's quite an incredible thing, really, in that sense. And I think trusting that as well is,
Yep.
you know, because some souls have literally had enough.
Yep.
They really have at the moment. And this is really a test of kind of, you know, how far are you willing to go?
Yep.
How, you know, what integrity do you have? What does your soul really want? What do you really want to manifest? And all those beautiful things in life. And it is really what we focus on, and the beauty in life that we see and that we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Because this is
that was a pretty big one to look at, because it's very confusing, right?
Very confusing and causing a lot of anxiety, I think. So that was really helpful.
Yeah, thank you, Janine. But the next question is all about MSM and mainstream media. I'd really like to have a look in the UK, you know, what is going on with the MSM, and are we looking to see an end to this nefarious news anytime soon? When will it come down? I think the biggest bugbear I think everyone has at the moment. It's like, we want to tell everyone the truth, but guess what? Guess what the TV says? All their little boxes, they're all glued to their jolly boxes.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Okay, so a big yes around, because you said, will it come down? And the first card came up was a yes. So if there's an ace, this is how I read. So lots of people wonder. It's in the first line. So I put down this one first and then this, you know how I do? It's called the Kachina knife that I do. So this in the context of this. So coming to an end soon. 10s are ending, so a big yes, and really soon. Really soon. What does the universe mean by really soon? Okay, so the past, we've all been really stepping away from it. So you would probably be surprised to know how many people have left behind mainstream media in the last year. Like it's I think we need to focus on what people are doing right for a change too.
I agree. This was we were coming on to this. I so agree.
I find I'm getting daily more and more subscribers, and I'm pretty out there, and I'm also a tarot reader. So for a tarot reader to get the kind of audience I'm gaining, that's pretty cool. People are listening, and that's amazing. And then all the other truthers, every time you put up a new you know, a new channel, will find you anyway, and they go over there. And
I don't think it's just because you're a tarot reader. I think it's also because of your integrity and the way in which you see the world, Janine. And I think so many people actually really resonate with you in that way. All the comments from all the shows, you know, they absolutely adore you, and you know, they really appreciate, you know, the hope that there is light at the end of this tunnel, and that is so important at the moment. You see, and you've got that little rainbow that we're all going to step through.
Well, that's, I'm going to tell you though, that's based in my entire life. I always focused on what I'd first feel out intuitively. What does my heart say? I'd usually do cards on it. And even before I knew cards, this is how I worked. I would check in with my intuition, and I'd go with that and stay until the universe told me otherwise. And it has not. I keep looking for it. Is this all a psyop? Are we getting fooled? Nope. It always says, no, you got to hold the line here. And I've done that my whole life with every single situation, and it always worked out. Like when I got pregnant with my son at 42, and then I had him at 43. Wow. A long story short, and I won't get too into gory details, but his dad, I was crazy in love with, was in love with someone else. And all of a sudden I got some feelings about that. Anyway. Okay.
It's
Sorry.
difficult. No, it's all
Then
right.
I
You know,
got
but
the
things
best
are,
thing that ever happened to me.
yeah, and it doesn't matter how much time
Yeah.
passes afterwards. It really doesn't, because, you know, whenever anyone else cries, my eyes well up.
Okay. Oh, I can't even believe that just happened, because that was so long ago.
Wow.
He was one of my soulmates.
And it doesn't matter how much time flies by, you know, things are still as real, you know. And it's just like our dreams, you know. I've had the most incredible dreams about what's actually going to come, and you know, and what is in the past, you know. There's just so much, you know, there's so much love.
Anyway,
Oh,
the story is.
Oh, bless you, Janine. I want to hug you.
Everybody sat me down, even people I really trusted and loved, and said, basically, don't have this baby. You're going to be a 40 something year old single mom. And I was told by a medicine man at 36 that I absolutely was having a son, and I was going to be in my 40s. My medicine man told me at 36, and he intuited my son, who looked exactly like what my son looks like. And I remembered that. So I am so thankful for that. In like when we get prophecies, sorry, it's because the universe needs you to know. If I hadn't been seeing that, if I didn't hear from that medicine man, you need to have this boy. You're going to have him late in your life. He's going to be multicultural, like his dad's Caribbean. And they showed me the son in the vision, and it was exactly my beautiful son. And if I wasn't told that back then, I might have listened to those people who thought they were doing me a favor, really close people that loved me. I know they do. But they told me not to have that boy. And I, in my heart, already went, oh my goodness, this is the boy the medicine man told me about. So I trusted in the spirit world, and I asked the spirit world to please show me a sign that this is going to be okay. I'm not going to be a destitute single mom in my 40s, right? Because even if this man doesn't stick around, I'm going to still have this son. So show me the sign. And I got the most beautiful sign. The universe lit up. I went out in nature like I always do, and it absolutely calming came over me. And I knew 1,000% it would be better then. My life would be better, not worse. I won't be destitute because it's hard to be a single parent. That would have been the second time in my life to be a single parent. I'd had a daughter 12 years earlier. Wow. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to look like a fool. Here I'm 40 something and I'm having a baby with somebody who's not with me. I think everybody's going to think I'm an idiot. Right? All of those fears that women might have in that situation disappeared in that vision. And then I became so joyful. People thought I was literally must be on some kind of drug throughout the pregnancy. I was not, obviously. And I was on cloud 9. It was like the universe assured me daily how much better my life would get. Wow. And long story short, his dad is the best dad ever and a really good friend. And we remained friends. And I had the most beautiful son, literally, physically, literally, and metaphysically. And I have the most beautiful daughter too. So I'm a very lucky woman. And he's now almost 18. And he was the best thing that ever happened to me in my whole life. So having gone through things like that, and that's just one of the things, every time the universe assures me of something, it's always happened, and it's assuring me 1,000% that maybe not all the details we have are right, but the picture is that the world's getting better, not worse, and that we're eliminating a big evil, and we're going to miss a huge train crash, which the world was on its way to anyway, but we've woken up to it, so we're aware of it, and it's going to be okay. Yeah. That's why I trust, because I've had those kind of experiences in my life, and the more I trusted, the better life got.
The Red Violin. You recommended the Red Violin, and I watched it last night actually.
Oh, what did you think?
It was so because I play the violin and the viola and loads of instruments.
Oh, you would have loved that.
I did. I really appreciated it. So it was, but it showed the story of it as it went along as well. So you said be careful at the beginning, and I was thinking, have I missed a bit? But,
No, you have to absolutely just pay attention to what she says to the woman.
Yeah.
Because of course it doesn't turn out like you think at first.
No,
right, but the mystery
Yeah.
unfolds, and exactly the reading comes true, but in a very unique way.
I haven't
That's
watched
kind of how life is, right?
to that. That's for this weekend. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So, oh, that's really, really good, and it is so true. It's so, you know, learning to listen to our intuition is never more important at the moment. And interestingly, I heard a really interesting channeling. I can't remember who by, but it really came up when you were saying that. Someone was saying that one of the reasons why things weren't progressing from the white hats point of view as quickly as we might like was because Trump is learning a lot at the moment. Trump and his team are learning a lot about how to let go and trust, because when you've been the military minds, the type of businessman he has, you're very used to being very capable of controlling situations.
Yep.
But there is a time to let go and let God, the universe, spirit, whatever you believe in, to take over the reins. It just resonated with everything you just said then.
Wow.
Yeah, it really does. So my next question, this is a big one for everyone around the world, and been a hot topic in the UK this week. So the 20th, this Saturday, is meant to be sort of global freedom marches. And there's been advertisements about them all over the world happening, a big one in London. But there's been some weird things associated with it as well that are making people think, is this a positive thing, or is there anyone on the dark side that's behind this? So could we ask that question about whether the protests this Saturday around the world have got a dark agenda behind them or not?
Yeah, because that is a good question, right? With all the misinformation and
I said to Catherine, I would go on a peace rally, but I would never go on a protest.
it looks good. It looks good. Ace, so going with good intentions, with your heart in a good place. And she's peaceful and calm and calls things to her. So maybe touch base with if you personally need to go, if that's something you need to do, if you'll personally be safe that day, and if it's good for you and your family. Maybe like think for yourself and don't go just because everybody else is going because of the pressure. But it doesn't look like to not go. The universe is not saying don't go, but it's not saying you have to go either. I think things will go in a good direction whether you go or don't go. You should base that on your personal situation, and if it'll make you personally feel better, connected, or utilize some positive energy, but go with a loving heart, not with I'm going to stomp naysayers out or something. Go with a loving heart. And then you'll be fine. That's that safe there's a vulnerability to this, but it's really well aspected, so you'll be safe, I think is what it's saying there. Wow. But it doesn't say don't go at all because you're being led into a trap. That's not what it's. So it's not a trap, but this is interesting. It'll probably be, or some of the places it'll be less organized than others, because this card's about confusion and disorganization. And there will be some nefarious people looking at the date as well, trying to do harm, but it's not a major arcana. So it doesn't look like they're, going to create the amount of harm they want to create. But there's going to be incidences, because this is a world thing. So there's going to be incidences where some people will run into some trouble and some people try to cause trouble, but I don't think nearly to an extent where you're literally in danger if you go. So touch base with your heart and decide.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're not going to ruin everything if you don't go, and you're not going to be unsafe if you do go.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yay. Next question. The false F. And I know you've looked at this many times, and
Yep.
I don't know if the energy is changing around it at the moment, because things that are coming out at the moment around something to do with DEFCON, and where it is and where it's going potentially.
Yeah.
In the specifically in the UK, are we looking at the false F in terms of actually, you know, I think especially with the MSM, I know we asked that question,
Yeah.
but is it the enabler for the UK for, I'm getting the questions confused. The energetics around the false flag, is it actually potentially going to come along in the UK? Have I worded that correctly? I want to be as specific as possible.
We're trying to look again at the FF.
Yeah.
That we've been getting off and on is a potential. It's just sort of sitting there in the background, could come at any moment.
Yeah.
We're just touching base with it again, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having a look at it, especially focused on the UK.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out how to ask these things, right? So, oh yeah, it's definitely a potential still. That card's like, okay, it's a major arcana. And when you get a major arcana, here's a little lesson there for aspiring readers. Around this first card pull around a question, especially with that little layout I always do. It's called the Kachina knife. So this is the card describing what you are asking. Okay, what Rachel is asking. So yes, there's this is like any second now. Could be. So they're still considering it. Absolutely. So it's a thing still. Okay. Oh yeah. And now we got another major arcana, justice. So justice tells me, it's karmic justice. It's because there's no other route. So that situation has been created because they've got no other choice. Okay, let's look at more detail. So that's a yes too, and that's in the background. So they already went, so we're getting closer to it because they already went through all of the hoops that they could have to avoid it. So now we've got a absolutely yes. I guess it's a matter of when and exactly what it'll look like. So this is in the current situation. Yeah, so they're literally considering the when of it.
Wow.
Now that's interesting because that's a Mother's Day card. And I know you guys had your Mother's Day, didn't you?
Yeah, we had ours last Sunday. Yeah.
It can be a Mother's Day card, or it can be about mothers or women.
Interesting.
But it's also about manifesting something. So they're calmly considering when to, because we got to put it in the context of the question, when to, because Canadian and US Mother's Day would be early May, sort of around second weekend in May on the Sunday. It's usually how they do it. But never mind that. They're calmly considering when to put it out there, but it's an absolute has to go now. Something has to give. Because if you think about it, something has to give here.
What about Lady Magdalene? Has she got any specific dates? I wonder if anyone can maybe put in the comments once this goes up, if there's any dates around is it Lady Magdalene?
Mary Magdalene?
Mary, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting to just like this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we've got, here's the outcome. So an ace of cups. So it's going to be very creative. It could have something to do with water at this point, and it'll affect water. We've been getting that all along. Somehow the water is affected. This is in the UK. So water, oh, okay. The dams could have something to do with too, because that water.
Yeah, because that keeps coming up, doesn't it? The dam as a possible trigger for mass disclosure keeps coming up.
substances
Yeah,
for
massively.
the harm of humans for the most part. So yeah, creating, you know, lifetime.
Release there with that one. Oh my goodness. Okay.
That would be, yeah. No, if it's a big bang, do you know, I'd much rather that than dribs and drabs of, you know, little bits of news coming out and who actually sees it. If it's a big bang, then goodness me, that would be, I would much prefer that. But yeah.
I'm getting that they've narrowed it down to the least amount of discomfort for the most amount of big bang bucks. It's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting that they've got it to the, and this is where maybe the universe is coming in. It's like all of this waiting's created it to be as effective because more people have woken up. And a lot of people are on the verge of waking up, by the way, and they're just not quite there, but they need something like this. And I feel like the timing is going to be perfect. So let's focus on that. I feel like it's gotten better every time I read about it.
Wow.
Brilliant.
This is so exciting. Thank you. That was amazing.
Really perfectly. You've led on to my next question, because my next question is about manifesting as a human consciousness. So one of my questions is if the white hats are in control and a lot of the dark hats have got removed, the fact that we're still seeing the current reality as it is with cure passports and lockdowns and horrendous things happening, is it something to do with the fact that we as a consciousness, we need to change our consciousness for more of the positive? Because we've talked a lot today about focusing on what we do want and everything. So is there something there that we need to be doing more about manifesting the outcome we do want? Don't know if that's if that's phrased clearly enough.
I feel like we're doing it, so there's nothing we're not doing, and it'll continue to do that. So we're doing it. These are more literal cards. So this is more now about timing. This is more about something had to end, and it took a really long time to create us to get to this place. We're in this place. Something had to come to an end, and it has something to do with really wealthy families, legacies, so power structure, elite and wealthy power structure. I think that's the dark cult deep state. I think they really are being dealt with. I really do. With that card there. But it's been long, arduous, and slow. So we had to get to this place. I don't think it's about doing any more than just keep doing. I think we should give ourselves all a pat on the back and be so proud of that we even are tolerating this movie this long, and that we're keeping the faith, and even more people are jumping on the bandwagon. I've gotten way more people viewing my Instagrams, which are nonstop onslaught of just go there and check it out, Tarot by Janine Instagram, because it's like if you want to see what I'm thinking, like it's all up there. It's just like this is all a movie. This is what I believe is going on, and it's like memes that people send me that look like they describe what I'm thinking, and that's all I do. That's all I use that Instagram for. So, and I'm getting way more comments and followings that are positive. I used to get nonstop trolls on there. They've all disappeared. I'm pretty good at getting rid of trolls anyway, but right, I'm seeing this big shift even in the last 10 days of huge support. I think we're underestimating how many people are waking up.
Yeah.
So I think it's more about that. It looks like this is all about timing, coming together, balance. It's all about balance. They needed this perfect timing for this, for everything to go. And that's probably why people that have been in contact with Mr. T and his gang say that those guys are still working 12-hour days like they always did. And that's always what I get when I look at it. He's never stopped working. And so he's in charge of a big group that continue to work. He is not just golfing. If you see him out golfing, it's probably his double to make it look like it, because it got to fool the bad guys that they're just sitting around, licking their wounds, which I believe Sidney Powell's part of that disinformation. right? I don't think that's the case at all. People that have actually seen him recently have said that he's working as hard as he ever did, and that he's perfectly calm about how things are going to go.
Wow, excellent. Could I ask one more question? Do we have time for
Yeah,
one?
let's do it.
Now, the Jasara movement for the UK, because it's such a huge enabler for us, and I've been dreaming about this, and I think loads of people are looking forward to it. Obviously, the first port of call is saving the children, and that's how we've got to this issue in the first place, and why so many people are waking up. But in order to start healing this planet, oh look, Catherine's got her fluff ball. What's this one called, Catherine?
This is Fluffy Duffy.
Fluffy Duffy.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I lost my hen this week, and she was called Henny Penny, and she was in my house for quite a while. I was trying to look after anyway. But yeah, so given that Jasara is such a huge enabler, just to start healing this planet, to start healing people, and really to get things going, I don't know if it's possible to re-look at, when is potentially Jasara actually going to be coming to the UK? Because I know that the energetics and, things change as time goes by.
Okay, so there's been a lot of activity around people trying to stop it.
Yeah.
It's been attacked.
We got that last time, didn't we?
Yep. And it's absolutely a thing, because this is really powerful. Moving forward and a leg up for people. It'll give people a leg up for sure, right? Because that's like a boost and a leg up, depending on how it's aspected. But this is what's the block is surrender. So we got surrender to it's been attacked, because they don't want to give, remember, this group's trying to take out the middle class because they're dangerous. But they're not going to be compliant. They think for themselves. They make their own money. They're definitely the most dangerous thing in the whole world to the deep state are the middle class, because they're not trying to be billionaires per se. So they won't join the club, that little club, because that's the only way you get in that club. Okay, to be as famous and have it, they won't even let you have that kind of money in the world. It's just like you'll be blocked from. At some point, they're going to find you and block you, or manipulate you if you're manipulatable. But middle class are happy with just having a good life.
Yeah.
And then the other classes that are struggling more than the middle class, they're easier manipulated, because there's more of a desperation maybe there. Just being honest, but that's just how it is. So the middle class are the most dangerous peoples. And so this will really affect everybody and bring everybody up to a more of a middle, or even to a very comfortable class, or make a whole new class.
Yeah.
Where it's not so difficult to own a home no matter where you are, and to have a comfortable life, which I think the universe wanted to give us. I'm pretty sure the spirit world isn't disagreeing with that, right? Because don't forget, all the gurus and really deeply spiritually connected people have always, at least I've always heard this from them, that the universe is abundant.
Yes, absolutely.
For everybody, but you got to do the spiritual work to get there. This is part of the spiritual work. So yes, it's absolutely a thing, but it's being right now attacked like at every turn. But this is my May card.
May.
So, yeah, you could also think, because it's like a pentacle, and it's so pentacle, earth sign, earth, and it's early. So the first earth sign in the zodiac would be Taurus. So April 21st to May 21st time, sometime in there. I think we'll see some literal action around it by then.
Wow.
That
the age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Sorry, Catherine.
Well, I was just saying that would be so wonderful for everyone, to give everyone a pick me up, and more cats.
Well,
yeah.
Or the ability to have, if you're the type who wants to house a lot of animals, like the ability to, like my daughter loves animals, and she collects sickly ones that are on their way out and nurses them off the earth plane in a loving way. Like she may not say she does that, but that's when you watch her, that's what she's doing. And they live in an apartment in Vancouver, and it's very hard to even have pets. You have to beg to have pets, pay extra, and it's trying to be good. And like if somebody like that could afford a little piece of land with room for all those pets, like the pets would be looked after because she's so happy to do it.
Yeah, too right. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
But Jasara also potentially means the coming of the medbeds, situated in a very safe environment, and an accessibility for it. I think when we looked at medbeds last week,
It's a little bed beds.
yeah. I think it was slightly further along.
Yeah.
But we have so many sick people, because we are literally bombarded and poisoned and all the rest of it, in the UK and in places we've got fluoride in the water. It's just a cheap way for them to get rid of it. And then we've got the chlorine, and then we've got the air, and then we've got the food. And you walk around the supermarket and you would say 98% of it is all acidic and, inflammatory to the body. And people have absolutely no idea, it's just pop some more donuts in here and go on a jolly and have some alcohol.
And it's amazing though that we're still all alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Living.
But then there's, yeah, exactly. But then there's balance, isn't there, Catherine?
Yeah, one glass of wine, one scoop of greens. Yeah, completely.
Exactly.
So it is, in all seriousness, it is about balance, and it's about also the energy that you put into it and everything, which probably comes full circle back to what we were talking about earlier, doesn't it? Yeah. So
meditating on wine. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's one of my 5 a day. It's organic grapes.
I love it.
Well, there.
But yeah, so there's lots of good things coming, everyone, and really good messages for all of us to keep working on ourselves, keep working on our intuition. I'm one of the reasons why I love our chat so much is I'm a strong believer that you are a product of the 10 people that you spend the most time with. And at the moment, having this balance between all the fear that's being pumped from even the people that aren't watching the television, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it when you go food shopping. You can't avoid it, whatever method it is. So actually just having that positivity spread out to lift people up so that they feel they can let go of some of the negativity and see the best of the world is so important.
I've always been really fussy about what I'll read, watch, and listen to, and I'm literally like hermiting, like other than my online presence, which I'm very social on. Right. But and I'm talking to my viewers, and it might be like a little bit cloistered or whatever, but I'm okay with that because I refuse to have that input right now. It's we're too valuable. And when we're out front, talking about this stuff, like what you're doing right now on this show and what I do on my show and all the great people out there doing this work, we need to be so careful what we allow in, because I refuse to send if I can possibly help it, I'm going to weed out all the wrong messages, you know what I mean? And try to be try my hardest to just get what I truly in my heart believe could be true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's important also to keep that kind of vibration up. And I've literally in the last couple of days just saved 2 souls from, having the cure, because I've been able to help them, just point them in the right direction for some information. In fact, I could say vernoncoleman.org has some really fascinating information, about what's going on that side and the potential threats, for your human body. And if you don't want to really leave this earth plane, then it would be a jolly good idea to go and have a look at it. But there is so much to look forward to. There really is, and you're totally right, both of you. And we've got all this love to share, and I'm seriously looking forward to. I mean, I'm enjoying every day anyway. I'm out in the field sorting out all the vegetables and yeah, I want to grow and, you know, do all sorts of different things. But yeah, it's a moving forward, but it's an appreciation of every single moment, because it's a present, you know, it is the present. So yeah, a wonderful, wonderful life.
Well, thank you so much. I knew that I'd feel so much better, because I had sunk a little bit having listened to the video, the Trump video. I was a little bit, oh God. And now I feel completely uplifted again, as I always do after our chat. So I hope everyone else does. So thanks everyone for listening to us. Thank you all for supporting us, because we've got some amazing listeners. And yeah, we will speak again next week, and who knows what might have happened by then.
Right.
Have an amazing week. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, everyone.